Hey entrepreneurs, in today's video, I'm gonna share my top 10 social media tips to help you grow online. I have a marketing agency, I love social media, and for the past 5 years, I've helped dozens of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small businesses, and nonprofits get results like getting clients and getting donations. So today, we're gonna take a look at some high-level tips that you can implement on different platforms like Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter. We're gonna go over everything. It's gonna be high level, and make sure you stay until the end because I have a free checklist so that you can do specific things on Instagram that will really help you up level on that platform. So the first tip that I have for you is if you don't already have a brand page or business accounts on social media, create those. Because what that's gonna allow you to do is it's gonna allow you to create calls to action on your profiles. For instance, with Instagram, if you have a business account, your address can appear, and a link for people to email you can appear, your phone number can appear. Similarly with Facebook and Twitter, you have these kind of options as well. In addition to that, you can also start to advertise if you ever get to that level. So having a business account is good. A lot of people think that you're gonna get more exposure if you have a personal account, which could be true, but in the long term, Instagram, Facebook, all these algorithms know who's a business, who's personal, and it's just unlocking features when you do your business account. And a tip that I have for you as an entrepreneur, this is for Instagram, if you want to get targeted with companies who are giving products that make it easier for you to do your job or to discover cool things, put that you are an entrepreneur, especially if you're an online coach or a solopreneur. Recently, I was targeted by an Instagram ad for a helicopter service that went from Orange County to LA in just 20 minutes. I signed up because I was interested in knowing how much it cost. Well, when I did that, they emailed me and they said, hey, you have early access. You can book a helicopter ride for free. And I thought, what? So I took it up, had an amazing experience, went from Orange County to LA in 20 minutes, there and back. I spent some time in LA, but it was a really cool perk. The second tip that I have for you is to lead with value. So whatever you're doing on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, you want to make sure you're providing value. And before we get to that, I do want to point out that if you are someone who has a personal account and you post stuff that's business and personal, you need to make a decision whether you want your Instagram to be your family and friends or your business. If you're really trying to generate the leads that you want, you need to make sure that you have the business side of it, because that was a game changer for me. For a long time, I wanted everyone to see my husband and my sister and my friends, but I was limiting my business reach. So now what I do is I have Facebook for personal and I use Instagram for business. So with that little caveat, make sure you're leading with value. What are your clients looking for? What kind of answers can you provide to them? You want to make sure you're giving way more value. I have a 3x rule, so 3 times more value than you're asking for things. This will be a game changer for you. The third tip that I have for you is to document what you do. This is a really part of your friends, your network, seeing what you do. So if you're a real estate agent and you are going to a house to do an inspection or you're gonna go close a contract, talk about that stuff on social media. The more that you show what you're doing, the more that people start to think, hey, that's the real estate guy. Hey, that's the real estate girl. So the fourth tip I have for you, and this goes along with the last one, is to optimize your bios or your about pages. So similarly to how you're gonna document what you do, and just by the way, you can also document what you do via stories. So if you don't feel comfortable making that a permanent post, do something like Instagram stories where you can play around with it, test it. It only lives for 24 hours. But when people are discovering you, they're gonna look at your bio, they're gonna look at your about page. So if it's not clear what your business does, what you do specifically, they're not going to follow you and they're not gonna take any actions. Which leads us to our next step. The fifth step is to always make sure you have a link in your bio or your about section. Whatever it is that you're offering, have a way for people to go to your website, to sign up for your email list. Make sure that you're giving them opportunities to connect with you and to dig further to see what you do. And that goes to our next topic, which is number 6, and that is to make sure you're collecting email addresses. So if you are taking time to build your social media audience, You want to make sure that you're getting opportunities to get their email, because you don't own Instagram, you don't own Facebook. If these platforms go away, you have no way of connecting with your customers and your target audiences. But if you have their email address, and you can do this by as simple as getting a email form from MailChimp and putting that in the link in your bio, or you can create free opt-ins. So for instance, on my YouTube channel here, I often say, download our free PDF, and that's to get your email address so that I can keep in touch with you in case YouTube goes away. So the same thing works for these other platforms. Just make sure that you are owning the email so that you have that direct line of communication. Additionally, with the algorithms, you can't always get in people's news feeds the way you want, but you can always get in their email inboxes, so that's why getting their email address is number 6. Our 7th tip is to be consistent. So when you're on social media, you want to be consistent for a couple reasons. The first is the algorithm starts to know that you are there, that you're going to show up 3 times a week, every day, and the more engagement you get, the more you're going to continue to show up. So if you're consistent in promoting what you do, it's going to give you more exposure. And one way to be consistent is to use a social media scheduler. I always, or at least I try to batch most of my scheduled media posts, because if I wait until the day of and I get too busy, nothing goes up, and then there's day 3, 4, and 5. So I highly recommend scheduling your social media content. And another reason to be consistent is so that your audience just gets to see you more often. That's how you build your know, like, and trust with people. The more they see you, the more you're showing what you do, the more you're providing value, the more you're building that online relationship, which is so critical, because if you haven't met them in person, that's the only way that you can build the relationship. Our 9th tip is to go live and to use video. So not a lot of people are going live on Facebook, on Instagram. We'll go back to the real estate agent, for example. If you're out and you're touring a new house that you have for sale, or there's some element that you can show, why not go live? This can also be a great opportunity to give tips for home buyers that maybe are following you, to educate them through the process. So go live, do what people aren't doing. Video isn't going anywhere, so try testing that a little bit. You can do it as simple as getting a tripod and putting your iPhone up and just doing something simple so your audience sees you. The people on social media who are using video and being organic, being authentic, they're the ones getting the most reach. They're the ones building up their businesses the most, because they're, again, building their like, know, and trust with their audiences. So the last tip is to be social on social media. It sounds so obvious, but so many people miss the mark here. So this is where you can really deep dive into a specific platform like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, whatever your preferred platform is. You can find, for instance, on Facebook, Facebook groups. There are tons of Facebook groups of different niches for different industries, different interests. So find the ones that relate to your business, join those groups, start having conversations. That is a huge game changer. I do this for the nonprofit marketing videos that I do, and I go into all the nonprofit Facebook groups, I have conversations, I share my videos, and it's a great way to build community. For Twitter, you can look up hashtags and join in on those conversations. If you're not being social on social media, you cannot expect to get the results that you want. Same goes for Instagram. You can also look up things by hashtags. You can look up things by location tags. Think of how cool it would be if you have a business and people are frequenting it, and you can look up your location, see what people are posting, and comment on that stuff. You can also go and send people direct messages. So you can find people that are maybe a specific profession, like a real estate agent or a marketing professional, and you can send them messages for collaborations or just to connect with them. Same thing with Pinterest, all of LinkedIn, this is all the same stuff. Just find the groups, the hashtags, the conversations that are going in, and join them. So those are our top tips for social media. They are high level, but if you're looking for something to get a little more granular, we have that free checklist for our Instagram social media tips. And this is very practical. You can put it into action. We chose Instagram because this is the platform that most entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and online coaches are using to build traction to get their clients. It's easy to build your expertise, to show yourself as an expert on Instagram. So make sure that you click the link in the description to get that freebie. And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified every week when we release our new videos. And finally, if you found this helpful, I would love to know that people are watching, so please give a thumbs up. Thanks and have a great day.